Okay. Kathy?
Great. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. And this is the introduction and orientation to the Empathy Circle practice and the Empathy Circle Facilitator Training. As you just heard, we're recording this call for educational and promotional purposes. And it'll be posted to social media. And so wherever Edwin is where we'll be recording. So if you break out into a small group and Edwin's not there, it will not be recorded. So my name's Kathy. I came to Empathy Circles about 3 months ago, but it feels like forever. And I love them. I'm a therapist, so of course I use it in my practice, but I came here to bring it to the Peace Alliance. And it's just been an amazing experience for me, and I'm hoping all of you will find the same. And so the center's vision is to make mutual empathy a primary world value. More empathy in the world will foster greater well-being. And we also have many empathy building projects that we'll talk about later. We have a website and a social media community. We do empathy tents and trainings. So, and we have found empathy circles to be the best gateway practice for deepening our listening and reflecting skills. And if you saw the how-to empathy circle video on the website, it covers many of the benefits of the practice. And we're working to scale up the training and train all 8 billion people in the world. That is Edwin's vision. And I joined him in that vision. Want to contribute to greater well-being for all of humanity. And so let's look at the outline for today's call.
On the ground.
Okay, let me bring that up. And please mute everyone.
The dog was just sitting there staring at her.
Okay, good. So first we'll have, we're doing the welcome. And then we're not going to introduce everybody because there's a lot of people on the call, but at the end of the call, everybody will have a chance to introduce yourselves and talk about how the experience was for you today. We'll talk more about the facilitator training and have questions and answers about that. We'll talk about how to do an empathy circle. There's a little video we'll show on that. We'll give a live demonstration about an empathy circle. And we'll break up into our circles, and every circle will have a facilitator. There's 3 or 4 people to a circle usually. And then we'll come back together the last 15 or 20 minutes and debrief about how the experience was for us. And let's see. So let's just go ahead and go around the room to introduce the facilitators, and I'll call on everybody just to help it go a little quicker. So Bill, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Bill Filler. I'm a retired special education teacher. And I came here because I found that when kids were in crisis or really agitated, if they felt heard, it would really reduce their physically acting out in aggressive behavior. And so I found this is really excellent practice. And I'd like to bring it to school. Thank you. And I'll give the information in the chat if people are interested in that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Melissa?
Hello, everyone. My name is Melissa Fernandez, and I am from the California, San Francisco Bay Area. I joined the Empathy Circle because one of the reasons is I am in healthcare. And I realized with the stress and the rush, we don't really have much time. And so we forget to pause and listen. And listening is a very, very important skill you need to have to do your job and to be empathetic and compassionate and caring. That being said, I realized that empathy is not just needed there, but it's needed in everyday life. And so I joined this training. Now it's probably a couple of months. And I find it wonderful and amazing. And I believe that we can achieve what Edwin is seeking to achieve, to spread the Circle of Empathy. So thank you and welcome everyone.
Thank you, Melissa. Larry?
So I'm Larry in Florida, and I'm a retired occupational therapist. And I love these empathy circles. I'm really grateful to have found them. And it brings me much inner peace and peace in relationships with friends and family. And I'm right on board with Edwin. This is what the world needs now. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Edwin?
Yes, Edwin Rudge from the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been working on empathy for about 13, 14 years, and super excited about the Empathy Circle as just a simple gateway practice for developing empathy skills. Yeah.
Thank you, Edwin. And so, Bill, I think it's over to you now.
All right, I was going to share my screen. Okay, all right. And this is the Empathy Circle Facilitator Training website. You can see over here, this is the link to get to it.
You
And
could close that window to the left there. It gets a little bit.
oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Edwin's a little bit anal retentive and he doesn't like that. And so, all right. And so this is the website. You can take a look over here and you can see the orientation cafes. That's what you're in now. And then there are 5 sessions, and I'll go over a brief, take you through this a bit. And so this is a introductory training and how to facilitate an empathy circle. And our vision, again, is to bring this practice to the world, and that we don't have all the answers, but we feel that a respectful dialogue is an excellent beginning, much better for what the choices that they're giving us now. And again, our mission is to train everyone. So this would be a skill that kids would learn.
Mande.
Okay.
Esa
And if you
pinche
can,
vieja sigue
could you,
insistente. Cierrale.
okay. And we're getting some crosstalk there. That's okay.
Yeah, I muted him.
Okay, thanks. So this is an open source training. So that means that you can use it. This is a basic practice, as Edwin says, and it can be folded into other therapies. One of the things that I particularly think that many therapies are quite, intellectually challenging and involved. But when people have this basic experience, it gives, especially kids, the context and the understanding in order to really take advantage of those other therapies. So rather than as a competitor to those other therapies, it's more of a complement, I think. There's no cost to take part, but you can, make a donation. There are a lot of people who do a lot of work for free and contribute, especially Edwin. You can, that's the choice there. And this gives you the options if you want to contribute. And if you don't want to contribute, that's fine. So these are, again, this is the introduction cafe. There is a 2 empathy circle prerequisite if you should go on and choose to take the facilitation training. This is one of the circles. Also, you can come to another cafe, or you can, hold a circle between your friends, family, wherever, job. And, it's the honor system. We trust that you did that. The time commitment is important if you decide to really commit to it, in the sense that, again, we're all working for free. And so the amount of people, if one person drops out, that does affect the organization of the training a great deal. We know that sometimes there are things that happen that are, unavoidable, and we understand that. But if at all possible, it's 5 sessions, 2.5 hours, once a week. And so if you do decide to take it, please attend all. For those who do attend all, we have the brand new spanking for certification of completions that we have. But you guys have to attend each one. Each cohort is now an ongoing series. We repeat these trainings periodically. In designing this for people, the general public, we have a basic training but you may, at your own pace, decide to take it as many times as you want. You can then go from being like a participant to a trainee, where you start to learn to present various aspects of the training, to a trainer, to a production trainer, et cetera, where you take on more responsibility. Excuse me. We want to build a supportive community. And so there we have empathy buddy calls and an email list. And I will just say that when I put out a call to the email list of facilitators, I've gotten a tremendous response, and I've seen other people get the same response. So it's a good group that you're joining if you decide to join. Here is the some of the cohort 12. That's always on Saturdays. That's today. This is a cafe right now, and then we'll be starting up Saturday, November 20th. If you come, then that'll be the first facilitation training. The other we hold on Mondays, and that'll be cafe until the first of the year, and then Monday, January 3rd, that will start that facilitation training. And again, we kind of go along. We have these cafes, we get a certain amount of quota, and then we hold a training. This is a little overview of the course. The first one, we couch the Empathy Circle basic practices into culture of empathy. What are their values that underpin this? We have a very short list. It's not meant to be exclusive or comprehensive, but we've tagged empathy, mutuality, openness, and care as core values of a culture of empathy. And we talk about that. In the session 2, you'll practice the actual facilitation of an empathy circle. Session 3, and you also, by the way, practice how to introduce and present the training. So you can, the how-to, so to speak. Session 3, we'll also do the how-to, and then also you can have some challenges if you wish. Again, part of this is that you can go at whatever capacity you feel you're ready for. So if you're ready for challenges, great. If you don't want any challenges, that's fine as well. And 4, we've done the how-to. That's optional if you want to practice some more, but otherwise you just facilitate an empathy circle with your preferred level of challenge. And then on session 5, we have a training debrief and feedback, and then we come back to the values of empathy, the culture of empathy rather. And so then you've had, we introduced the values, you have the training, and now how's the training colored your experience of those? Do you have other ones? Whatever, but it's a revisit to the culture. And then Edwin has a tremendous compendium of information, values, again, a growing list, how to empathy circle, etc. You can see that there. And then also there are all sorts of other references to various other empathy training literature review, you can see there. So it's a great place if you're interested in empathy and how that fits in. Edwin has interviewed hundreds of people, and he's gathered a tremendous compendium of information. And that is the review, and I will just entertain any questions. If you have a question, just to make sure, you can raise your hand if I see it, but if not, there's a raise hand under reactions, and you can raise your hand like that, and that makes it easier for me to see. Are there any questions about anything that I've talked about? I do not see any. Okay. All right. And okay, I think I'm passing off to Melissa, or are you going to show the video?
I'm going to show the how-to video.
The how-to. Okay. All right. So I'll pass it to Edwin, and you'll see a short 6-minute video on how to the basics, the mechanics of the circle. Thanks. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Bill. So this is the how-to video of the empathy circle practice. It just explains sort of the step-by-step instructions for how to take part. And there we go. Director of the Center for Building a Culture of Empathy. I'd like to welcome you to this short presentation on how to take part in a basic empathy circle. So next, let's look at the step-by-step how to take part. An empathy circle starts with 2 to 7 participants. Here on the screen, we have 4 participants, which I find is an ideal number. There are 4 basic roles, and the roles rotate among the participants as the empathy circle unfolds. 1, the speaker, is the first person to speak. 2 is active listener who actively listens to the speaker. There's the silent listeners, they quietly observe and witness. And the facilitator who organizes, schedules, and hosts the circle. They also do the timekeeping, and they have some experience with the process and help keep participants in the process. However, everyone has the responsibility to hold the process and the practice. So to begin with, the facilitator will start the empathy circle. They welcome the participants. They lead introductions if the participants don't know each other. The facilitator invites participants to give short introductions, for example, their name, where they're from, and something personal about themselves. The facilitator then reviews the empathy circle process to remind everyone how it works. They announce the discussion topic, if there is one. Even if there is a topic, you can always talk about what is alive for you. That is what is on your mind in the moment. And 5, they set the speaker time limits, perhaps 5 minutes, for example. And the facilitator then asks who would like to start to be the first speaker. So at that point, the participant volunteers to be the first speaker. As speaker, you select who will be your active listener, and you can select anyone that you want. You speak about the topic given or whatever is alive for you. And so you'll speak a bit until you have maybe expressed an idea or two, and then you want to pause to give the active listener a chance to recap what they understand that you are saying and feeling. If you say too much, the listener may have difficulty in reflecting it. As the active listener, you are listening to the speaker to get an understanding of what they are saying and what is important to them. You are giving them your full attention as a supportive companion on their inner journey and exploration. When the speaker pauses, you recap your understanding of what they said and how they feel by reflecting the essence of that in your own words. You can summarize, paraphrase, or even say the speaker's words back to them. Even though you may have a strong impulse to respond with your own ideas, judgments, analysis, advice, and sympathy, or even questions, resist the impulse to do so because these common responses block the speaker from moving along their internal journey. You will be able to say whatever you want when it is your turn to be the speaker. If you don't reflect the understanding to the speaker's satisfaction, they can always say it again. Then as speaker, you check, do you feel understood to your satisfaction? If you do not feel understood, you can say it again, perhaps in different words. If you do feel understood, continue sharing. Again, after speaking a bit, pause to give your active listener a chance to recap their understanding of what you said. As the active listener, you again share your understanding of what the speaker said and meant.
Your name, of course.
The cycle of speaking and reflecting continues until you, as the speaker, do not have anything else you'd like to say, or until you get a signal from the timekeeper. If you get a signal from the timekeeper, then finish up what you're saying in a sentence or two. After you get a final reflection, you can end your turn by saying something like, I feel fully heard, or something like that to indicate you are done with your speaking turn. At that point, the roles then rotate. The active listener becomes the speaker. The person they select becomes the new active listener. For everyone having equal time, it is good to select someone that hasn't spoken lately, but it is your choice. The others in the circle become the silent listeners. This process of taking turns in speaking and active listening continues for whatever time is allotted for the empathy circle. And this was just a very short introduction. The best way to learn the practice is taking part and doing it. There is more in-depth material on taking part in an empathy circle and facilitating one at empathycircle.com. Thank you for listening. Okay, so that's the basic instructions. And now Melissa is going to lead a sample empathy circle, just a short one.
Okay.
Model it.
Hello, everyone. So as Edwin mentioned, I'm Melissa Fernandez. I will be your facilitator today for the Empathy Circle. We will be role modeling a short session. Before I start, I would like to ask anyone who would volunteer to participate to please raise their hand.
We're just going to do the facilitators to role model it. So Kathy, Bill, and Larry. Yeah, we'll just be modeling it.
Okay, so right. Thank you. And so as the facilitator, I will be listening, and if there is any time where we go against the rules of the empathy circle, I would need to intervene and make the correction. So we go back. I will be the active listener to start with, and I would like to ask if anyone would volunteer as the first speaker. Who would be my speaker? Larry. Thank you, Larry. So I would keep the time. Edwin, how much time are we?
3-minute turns, and I put the question into the chat. It's why are you interested in empathy circles, and the training, or whatever is alive for you? So yeah, and
Okay,
3-minute turns.
Okay, so at the end of 3 minutes, I will be keeping time. At the end of 3 minutes, I will raise the sign. So you know your time is up. You do not need to stop abruptly. You are able, we do give you the opportunity to complete what you're saying and for the active listener to reflect back. So Larry, can we start now? I will start the time, 3 minutes.
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, and I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm going to start right off with what I want, what's alive in me, as the question states, and it's why I'm interested in empathy circles. So I'm going to cut to the chase, I'm going right to the topic, why I'm interested in circles, and what's alive in me. Would you reflect that back, please, Melissa, so I can know that I was heard?
Sure, Larry. So what I hear you say is that you just want to go right to the topic and tell me what you feel is alive for you in the empathy circle.
Yes, there's an expression in English, I don't know if you have this expression in your language, but cut to the chase, get right to the point. And what I need in my life, what we all need, is empathic communication, or empathy, to hear and listen to one another, really hear. So I'll stop there.
Okay, so what I hear you say is you wondered whether I knew the meaning of the phrase cut to the chase, or that it means to get to the point. And so you want me to, you're trying to say what is important in empathy, and that you believe that empathy is something we all need.
Thank you, Melissa. Yes. And empathy has literally been, use the expression, drilled out of every human being in civilization for thousands of years. I'll stop there.
And you also say that empathy has actually been drilled into, the human race for thousands of years.
Been drilled out of us. It's been, we've been conditioned to not be empathic, to not care about one another, to care about only ourselves and not worry about the so-called enemy that we go to war with and drop bombs on, to not feel the pain of that. We've been conditioned to not care.
Okay, so you corrected my, misinterpretation of that. What you were saying is that empathy has actually been drilled out of us and made us very thoughtless and uncaring. And it's caused a lot of war and trauma and hurt and pain to everyone around because of that.
Thank you, Melissa. I feel fully heard, and I'm looking forward to my next 3 minutes.
Thank you, Larry. And now I will be the speaker. Bill, would you be my active listener, please?
Sure, happily.
Thank you. So I was thinking about what Larry just spoke about empathy having been drilled out of us. And I just wondered, is that how it began?
So you were thinking about what Larry said about how empathy has been kind of drilled out of us. And so you're wondering how it all began.
Right. And, I was wondering, did someone do that to us? Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, we all always have a choice in life. We have a choice. So we don't blame someone else. Whatever we are taught or we are not taught, the choice at the end of the day is always ours.
So you're really questioning about the power of outside forces to basically influence ourselves. And no matter how strong those might be, at the end of the day, the choice is always ours.
Right. So because, there is an innate goodness in every human being. And the time and when they do respond aggressively with anger, could it be pain? Could it be that they are missing or lacking the basic psychological needs that they actually need? And so they respond in a way that they would not otherwise have responded.
So you're feeling that your belief is that people are innately good, and that if somebody is behaving aggressively or violently or something like that, it's because of certain things, certain nurturing, that's my word, things that they've been missing. And so therefore, because of the lack of that, they act out impulsively or inappropriately.
Right. So that's what gave me thinking that this empathy circle is such an amazing idea that it gives us the opportunity and another chance to learn to listen and know why someone is acting out or responding in a way that is not natural to them. And perhaps with that understanding, we can extend our assistance or be more compassionate?
So you really like the Empathy Circle as an excellent tool as a way to really kind of listen to someone and understand the things that are underneath that are motivating them, so that we can understand how to communicate with them effectively and make them part of the community instead of against something.
Thank you, Bill. I feel fully heard. And now you are the speaker.
Okay, Kathy, will you listen to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
So over my career, I had to handle kids who were in a lot of crisis, students who were in a lot of crisis, and it would often act out violently. I'll stop there.
So in your profession, you worked with kids in crisis, and so part of how they acted out was violently.
Right. And one of the great learnings from my training was that when a child acted out like impulsively, you're walking along and somebody just throws a punch and you say, well, they're just angry or whatever. We always gathered together as a staff to understand, and we would ask ourselves one question: what was the communicative intent of that act? I'll stop there.
So whenever there was an impulsive behavior, you would gather with the staff to try to understand what was the communication that was being attempted.
Right. And when we can identify it and address it, they didn't get fed, they saw a violent interaction between their parents or something like that, then, and we could address it, then the violent acting out went down a great deal. I'll stop there.
So if you got to the root cause of the violence that was being acted out, then you could address that, and then the violence would decrease.
Right. And then I think this is such a great tool, because what this would do, if kids practice this first thing in the morning, it would proactively reduce behavior problems in school. I estimate by 30%.
Mm-hmm. So you see this as a tool that would help eliminate those behaviors if you used it first thing in the morning and used it proactively.
Thank you, Kathy. I feel fully heard.
Right.
Okay, so we just want to give a little bit, it's about a 10-minute sample, so you see how it's modeled. We explained how the process works. You've seen it modeled, and now we actually want to go into the breakout room, so you have a chance to practice yourself. And so thanks, Melissa, for leading that. We're going to, in the rooms, we have the topic of why are you interested in the empathy circle or the training or whatever's alive for you. You can always talk about anything that is on your mind. And so the rooms, we're not going to let any new people in at the moment. So at this point, it's we're sort of locking the room. There's a facilitator in each room, and if you drop out of the room and the facilitator recognizes you, they will bring you back into the main room, and then I'll be in the main room and let me know what room you're in. I'll move you there, but we're not going to let new people in who haven't seen the intro. And so let me just check have some people dropping out, so we just need to remake the rooms here, and then let's see. Oops. Okay, so we're going to, there's going to be, in the first room, it'll be Kathy will be leading that room, facilitating that room, and then the second room will be Bill, and then Larry, and then Melissa, and then I'll be doing one room. We're going to have about an hour, 65 minutes, and I'll send a 10-minute notice, and then we'll close the room in about the 65 minutes. We'll come back and debrief and hear from each of you, about your experience. So I think we're ready to go. The people jump in and drop out, so the rooms kind of shift around here. So let me hopefully get these all set. So here we go and into the rooms, and the facilitator will be the first listener, and you kind of know how it works. So hopefully everybody moves to their room. There's one room here, which I'm facilitating. And I think, let's see, yep. And Dean, I think Chantel should be moving into another room. Okay, so I'll be the first listener, and you saw the topic, or it can be whatever's alive for you. And there's a time. Does somebody have a clock handy that can take 4-minute turns for, does anyone? I can bring that up. I should have had that handy. We had a large group today, so there's a lot to manage. Let me see. Stop.
Edwin,
Yeah.
I was with your group before on my first meeting. Should I move to other room or I can stay here?
You can stay here. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
So let me bring this up here. So when your 4 minutes is up, I'll just hold a little timer here that indicates at that point you want to sort of finish what you were saying, and then you'll get your last reflection, and then it'll be the listener's turn to speak. So go ahead, and whoever would like to start, I'll be your first listener. And our topic is, why are you interested in empathy circles, and the training, or whatever's alive for you?
Okay, I can go first.
Okay, I'm listening.
Today, I have my shamanic group healing session in the orchard, outdoor. And there were some people that expect to come, but they didn't.
So I'm hearing that you had your shamanic group today, and you had expected certain people to come, and they didn't show up.
Yes, but the thing is, there were people that I didn't expect, and they're just passing by, and they decide to show up with the dog.
Yeah, so there's people that showed up in your group, and you weren't expecting them to be, and then they brought a dog as well. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, and the thing that's funny is, before the event happened around last week, there were a woman asked me if she can bring a dog into the ceremony, and I wasn't sure if that's a good idea.
Yeah, so somebody had asked you about if they could bring a dog, and you weren't so sure about it. You didn't know if it'd be really a good idea or not.
Yes, because it's need a concentration and a quiet, calm space. So she didn't turn up. But today we have a dog in, and the thing is, the dog move around a bit, but not so chaotic.
And so you weren't sure about if a dog would be good, because you're wanting to really create a calm sort of a feeling. And the dog moved a little bit, but not too much today.
Yes, so that lady that was asking me, she didn't come, but the one that turned up is someone else that I didn't expect. But she came with a dog, and yes, the dog moved around a bit, but not crazily until disturb the ceremony. So I decided to include the dog in the ceremony and receive the healing as well.
Yes, the dog was fairly well behaved, didn't move around too much. And and you decided to include the dog in the sort of the final ceremony. And so it looks like you're very pleased. You're very happy with it, maybe.
Yes, so the dog was received the healing today, together with all the people there, and is I feel quite good actually, because I feel like it is a gift in a way, you know, that suddenly I have this opportunity to give the healing to the dog, and and when I was drumming to the dog, it stay still, like knowing what is happening, and it's kind of like receiving the healing, I suppose.
So you're very pleased with the dog, so offering the dog some healing, and you were drumming to it. And while you were doing the drumming, it stayed calm, it didn't jump around, and you think it really understood and was receiving the healing. And so you feel quite pleased.
Yes.
And that's the
So
time, that's just the 4 minutes. So
okay.
so now it's my turn to speak, and I'll speak to, I guess, Linda. Oh, Lydia. I mean, Lydia.
It's Lydia.
Lydia, yes, Lydia.
Yes.
Thank you. So let me reset the timer here. Stop, reset, start. Yeah, I'm excited that we have a really good turnout today. We actually needed a few more facilitators, so I like to have little smaller groups. Those groups are a little larger than I usually like to have. So if you want to reflect that.
You are happy that you are having a small group to handle, right?
Well, it's actually, I'm a little nervous because it's a large group. There's a lot of people, 33 people, 34 is a lot of people. So I feel a little nervous. It's a lot to juggle.
Okay. Maybe you are stressful because this is the first time you are handling a large group from around the world.
Well, it's not the first time. I've had as many as 90 people in an empathy cafe. So today we have 33, 34. So I have done very large groups, but it is a lot to manage. So it is a bit, to organize everything is a lot. It is stressful.
Maybe you tense a little bit. Yes.
Yeah, a little tense to juggle. Usually I don't like to facilitate a circle. I like to have someone else facilitate it so I can manage everything. But we have so many people that we don't have enough facilitators today.
That means you are skilled in management than facilitator.
Yeah. Okay, I feel fully heard. Thank you. So now it's your turn. You can select someone to speak to.
Can anyone do that for me? I don't know if there is someone.
Oh, there's Johnny, Maria, and Donna. Because you're on a cell phone, you probably can't see them. So Maria, Johnny, or Donna.
Okay, let's go for Maria.
Okay.
Maria, do you hear me?
You're muted, Maria.
Maria?
Here we are. I hear you.
Okay. All right.
Hello, Lydia.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, I have this picture. I would like to draw a little picture about empathy, bringing it to love. A man met a woman. They fall in love and got married.
Oh, she dropped out. Something. Maybe she just dropped out of the call. Does someone else want to take Donna or Johnny? Do you want to reflect that? Okay, Johnny, you're muted. So Maria just dropped out of the call, so Johnny will do the reflection.
All right. Can you make the statement again?
Okay, I'm going to draw you a little picture talking about empathy, love. A man met a woman, they fall in love and got married.
Okay, so you chosen the story format to show or explain love and what happens when a boy meets a girl, man meets a woman, falling in love and getting married.
Yeah, but I'm talking about how the world has have to be.
The way the world has to be.
How it was brought into this world.
Okay, so it was more about how it came to be. Okay.
All right, and then they make a baby. The baby was born, and what is that baby?
Okay, that you said they made a baby. The baby was born, and what is that baby?
Yeah. Okay, to me, that baby is love.
Okay.
And okay, it's love. And the baby grown up and was raised with good moral ethics, with love, you know, and he go into the world and that love was dropped out of that baby, what it means.
Okay. Give me a second. You said what the baby was love, and that
I mean,
sorry, I lost most of it.
Well, he grown up, was educated with moral ethics, with love, with empathy, and he stepped into the world and see other behavior, bad attitudes, and that love was dropped out of him.
Okay.
Means how the world is tend to be. Most people, they were the way we were born and came in this world. Our parents, family, they met, they engaged because they love each other. They got married and make a family inside love, and they raise their children with love, with moral ethic, empathy, you know, to care each about, to help others people, you know, to make a difference in the society. Then they go out, they meet others people with different moral value, but who don't care, and that love was dropped out of them, and they start to behave differently. That is what we are going through right now in this world. And if you don't have your heart deep inside you, you might become, you may, you know, be a kind of monster. No empathy, no moral value, no ethics. You don't care about others people, only yourself. You become selfish. Yes.
Okay. So you were saying the baby was born and grew up with a healthy environment with good morals and good ethics. Somewhere along the line, they stepped out of what they were taught, and that love fell away from them. And from what I understand, you're using just that particular couple and a child as a metaphor for what was actually happening throughout the world with people falling short of empathy.
That's the time too. That's 4 minutes. So I'm just checking. Janna, were you in another group? Just, you're muted. Were you in another group and dropped out, or? Yeah, I'm not hearing you. You're muted. Okay, so we'll see what. So Johnny, if you want to go ahead and.
I guess I'll speak to Donna.
Hello?
You're muted, Donna.
Okay.
There
I'm
you go.
okay. Hi, Johnny.
Hello, hello. How you doing?
Okay. I missed the group last week though, so but I did the cafe before that, so I am familiar with you people here.
Okay.
Okay.
So you just reflect back what Johnny says. So yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, the reason I'm interested in the empathy circle is because I had prior training in psychology, and I don't want that education and the finances of that education to go to waste.
Okay. Shall I reflect back?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Johnny's saying that the reason he's interested in the empathy circle is that he's had quite a bit of education in psychology, and he wants to put that to good use, and I'm assuming in helping people.
Yes, ma'am. One of the things that I'm struggling with right now is my short-term memory, which is why I'm having a little trouble reflecting clearly on why I'm taking such small steps in speaking and listening.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you're dealing with some short-term memory issues, and you want to take the steps to listen carefully and present what you can the best way you can.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. One of the things that's happening is fighting symptoms of my diagnosis has kind of rolled over into affecting my day-to-day life. So where I may have to block out some noise or some voices or sounds that'll make me uncomfortable, being in the habit of doing that has also got me kind of, I guess, absent-minded.
Okay, so you're saying that with your diagnosis, you have some interruptive things in terms of distractions or information that's coming to you that you feel that you need to block or try to put aside to be able to focus better to what's being said to you, but it is also a challenge for you to do so.
Yeah. The thing I'm looking for right now is the way to best use my professional training and my education and experience to help others on some level, so that I feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose.
Yeah. Okay, so you're feeling like you'd like to take what you know in terms of psychology and working with people, and clearly have a need to be of service to others with the purpose of understanding and your education, that you want to be able to fulfill that purpose of bringing that understanding to other people as a service that makes you feel good, I'm assuming.
Yes, ma'am. And I guess my last thing is that I've been on so many sides of psychology, sociology, healing, shamanism, and all that. It's what I want to say. Having been on so many sides of what we consider the mental health field, I've been a client, I've been a caretaker, I've been a student, and that kind of, I feel like, makes me unique to help make some changes. and empathy circles are one of them. So.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that what you're saying is that you've been the caretaker, you've been the student, the client, the person who's explored a lot of different alternative ways of working with people, from sociology to psychology to shamanistic to, and been on various participating areas from both sides or three sides or multiple sides that you're really feeling you want to somehow bring that together to help people.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I feel fully heard.
Okay.
So you select your listener. Who would you like to speak to, Donna?
Oh, okay.
Perhaps Chang, who hasn't listened yet.
Yeah, Chang. Okay, Chang. Hi, Chang.
Hello, Donna.
Okay, so can I ask Chang a question? Is where are you from? Where are you speaking from?
But the listener only will reflect back. They won't tell you the answer. They'll only reflect back.
Okay, sorry, Edwin.
You can speak, but they will only reflect back. Even if you ask questions, they're going to reflect back your questions to you.
Okay, Edwin. Okay, I wasn't in the introduction. I got here a little late, so okay. In terms of the why I'm interested in the empathy circles is that I am currently a retired occupational therapist, but I'm also an art therapist, and I've worked a lot with children, and I'm very concerned about how to bring what the actual way of, since this COVID-19 and no school and lots of mental illness and anxiety disorders and things that are really causing difficulties amongst people in general, is I'm a pediatric therapist, so I'm a little bit, I see private clients, but I'm wanting to know more about what Edwin's done in regards to getting into schools. And I would like to be able to offer empathy circles with young people. I would like to do that. I have the skills.
Remember to pause, give a chance for the reflection.
Okay, Donna, you said you used to work as art therapy and psychotherapy before, and you are now interested in empathy circle because of the challenge that the situation of the COVID-19 bring to people, and you think that maybe this practice of active listening or empathy circle can help you to help your client, and so you're interested in what Edwin is doing. That's why you're joining us.
Yeah, I feel heard. Thank you.
You still have a minute and a half if you want to take your full time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really frustrated by this situation because I have so many skills of working with art to bring empathy to children and expression with people through the use of art. That's been my life. And the lack of having the stimulus of having art to children or adults in this whole COVID-19 isolation, I think has impacted their ability to love themselves as well as others because of their anxiety and fears. And so I'm really wanting to provide some experiences where expression can be done through an empathetic circle. So it's healing to the education system. Actually, I would like to get teachers to be able to get this as a daily practice.
Yes, and because of this COVID situation, so people get isolated, and the kid as well in the isolation. So it's make you feel very frustrated because you have all this knowledge of art therapy and you can help them, but you cannot do it at this moment. So you think that to practice this empathy circle, and when you can bring the kid to practice this as well, you think that it can help the kid with them feeling and to help them to feeling heard and maybe expression of love, and maybe that bring them more joy. Yeah.
How is the time too? Do you feel heard enough?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
thank
So-
you.
Thank you. Okay, so Lydia, can you listen to me, please?
I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
When you were expressing about where the children are from, you said they are born from love between a man and woman. That's how, so that's how it's created the children, and they're born from love, and they grow up from the house that teach them the good value in life and give the good education, good behavior.
Yeah. I was meaning this is how the world was created in the beginning. People got married, have a family, a happy one, and other sides when they go out and meet some fellow with different moral, that love is drawn out from them.
Yes.
It-
So
Yeah, go ahead.
you think that in the beginning they all have a good education of how to love and in the loving environment, but when time passes, when they grow up, when they start in the society, the love come off them and they become not as loving as there was before.
Yeah, going through things happening around, what they have been doing, going through in life, the hardship, the good time, the up and down challenges. Sometimes they meet people with, bad behavior, bad influences, and that love is drop out.
Yeah.
If they don't guard their hearts, they will fall into the trap. So
Yes, but what I want to say is there is a story from the Japanese story fairy tale that
yeah,
the children born from bamboo. They were born from bamboo. They were it's like they came from what is that? The and the stork, the stork, the birds with a very long neck. The stork will brought the children come down from heaven and put in the bamboo. And when it's time, the parents go to cut the bamboo and then they will get a baby.
oh, nice story. Okay.
Can you reflect the story? What did you hear Jeng say?
Yeah, it's love came from heaven, and it was a big surprise, a baby, right?
And yes, and then you know, the stork is like a bird with a very long neck, with the long legs. The stork will bring the baby from heaven and put in a bamboo. And when the times come, the parents go to that bamboo and cut it open. That's how they receive the baby.
Oh, wow. It's like things happen and they receive a baby with without knowing what was invest in the baby.
Maybe I could reflect that. The time is up, but I hear that there's a Japanese story where the storks bring the baby and they put it into the bamboo, and then the parents go to the bamboo and get the baby. And that's sort of how, that's just a story of how the babies come from in Japan. Just one story.
Okay.
So is that was the time too? Do you feel heard? Jane?
A bit, yes.
Okay, maybe feel heard enough. So, okay, yeah, okay. So Lydia, who do you want to speak to? You can speak to Johnny, me, or Donna.
Well, I am going to talk about someone made heaven and earth.
But who are you speaking to first? Who's your listener?
There is who and who?
There's me or Johnny or Donna.
I already gone to Johnny, to Donna, to, okay, let's go with you.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, someone made heaven and earth, and it was quite amazing, beautiful. Everything was perfect.
So you're just telling a story that someone made heaven and earth and everything was like beautiful and perfect.
Yeah, I mean, God made heaven and earth. It was perfect, everything. Then He created man and woman, brought them in this life, created livestock, animals, all things. And what happened?
Yeah, so God created all these, the animals, the people, the earth, and then you're just like curious, what happened with all that?
Yeah, then man, God has put in man the gift of creation as He's creating him like Himself. Then the man started to create things. Unlike God, they are creating things that are, killing nature, killing this beautiful creation, destroying everything.
So you're just seeing that man or humans can create, but they're doing a lot of destruction. And maybe you're like, why is that? Is like why is there all this destruction that humans create all this destruction?
Yeah, this destruction. Why this destruction? Why not to, follow, their creator and do things well, good things, create things that will not disturb this world and, spread love, all around. It brings health, mental health, physical health.
Yeah, so it's like, why don't people just spread love and create more health and well-being and mental health? So you're just sort of wondering, why do people not do that?
Yep. Why not everybody, but most people, they tend to, destroy things. even in food, let's talk about food we eat. If we put chemical product on the food, people are getting sick, cancer, all kind of weed sickness.
Yeah,
Right?
so there's all this destruction, even like in food, they put chemicals in the food that creates illness and sickness. And yeah, why, you're just wondering, why don't people just have more love, create more love, and why all these problems?
Why not eating healthy, natural, without all those chemical products, you know, and, you know, help people have good health, long life, like it was in the beginning when God created all things.
Yeah, it's like you're just wondering, why isn't it like when God created all things which were sort of beautiful and healthy, and you're just wondering, why is that? Why don't they do that?
Yes, why we don't, you know, have a healthy environment, healthy people, healthy foods, so everybody can, you know, rest, you know, have long life, health, joy around, you know, sharing love.
Yeah, so that's the time. But I'm hearing you're just wondering, why can't there be all this health and good food and well-being, and why isn't it like that? And just maybe you would like that to be that way, and
right.
why isn't it that way? So, and that was your time. Do you feel heard? Do you feel heard? Do you feel like you were heard?
It's a kind of hurt. I feel kind of hurt, sad, what is going on around us.
Mm-hmm.
Why we can't just, you know, make this world a better place.
Yeah, that was your time. So I'm hearing you feel sad. It's like, why we can't just make it, there's some sadness, you're feeling sadness. So yeah, so that was your time too, the 4 minutes. So I'll speak to Donna. So you're muted. Yeah, in terms, let me hit the
Okay, I got it.
button. Yeah.
I hear you.
So yeah, I think empathy circles kind of help fix things. You know, it's like if people can hear each other, then they can work together and collaborate. And it starts with people hearing and understanding each other, really, to sort of heal the world.
So you're bringing forth that the empathy circles are a format that you've been clearly involved in for a few years, it sounds like at this point. I'm not sure how long it's been for you, Edwin, but that the format of being able to hear and listen and understand each other is the beginning of healing this terrible situation that we're becoming so engulfed by as
yeah, that's it. That's
talked to by Larry in regards to that we've been literally pushed by the negativity of our of the global negativity, and in terms of that being going towards competition and not love.
Yeah, and so the core is that the empathy circle is a healing process. It takes time. It doesn't happen immediately. You know, it took thousands of years to kind of create the mess we're in, and it's going to take time to heal it. But I think the healing starts with people being able to hear each other and sort of have the patience for that.
Yeah. So the fact that this discourse between people, as well as not taking care of the environment, or this competition that is not making us care for each other in an environmental way as well, or consumption of resources, all those kinds of things are related to no self-love and taking care of each other and all those kinds of things. And the empathy circles can help to provide a healing process, hopefully, and listening to each other and realizing we can work together to heal everybody, hopefully, as well as the environment.
Yeah, and you were talking about the schools. So I think that empathy circles could be in the schools from the earliest age. So if I would have had empathy circles in my school, I would have learned that in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, just how to listen and the skills of listening and working collaboratively, it would have, changed my life.
Yeah. Okay. So I hear you saying that in regards to what my conversation about schools is bringing it in, that you know for a fact that if you had that yourself earlier in life, that it would have really assisted you in your ability to listen and learn.
So we have people like Bill, who's a teacher, and he's wanting to bring it into the school. So he's got a group that he meets to, talk about how to bring empathy into the school. So it's definitely, a project that if we could spread it throughout the country, make it a core practice, I think it would help everyone. It's really about everyone in the school being heard, learning to listen to each other, and it would just, I think, just really do a lot towards, constructive growth.
I hear you saying that there'd be great constructive growth provided this experience in schools. It sounds like Bill has already begun doing that. I don't know where he's begun doing that. I'd like to duplicate that, but so I get that this would be an impactful change within the school system, particularly starting at a young age. Developmentally learning this skill is important. And actually,
And like everything, it takes a lot of time. It takes effort, it takes time, it takes persistence, it takes patience to bring anything new into the culture. So it takes commitment to do that.
Yeah. So I hear that you say it takes time and working with people to understand that this is valuable, as well as it just takes time for change in that regard, because we've been on this trajectory educationally where the push has not been towards healthy wellness in mental health areas in regards to our feelings and emotions and expressing them with respect.
With empathy. I put an emphasis on empathy versus respect. So I feel fully heard.
Okay. Oh, so it's my turn?
Select your listener and
Okay, I'll go for Johnny. One of the things that myself that can is I feel like I've been an empathy circle person since the beginning of when I worked as an occupational therapist, actually. And the way I did it is I used art therapy. And one of the things I did with the youngest group, the 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds and stuff, is I had masks that represented anger, happiness, and anger, happiness, and glad, mad, joy. Okay, so and that opened up the area of being able to talk about feelings, and it really made the situation really healthy in the school or the classes. So that's why I'm so pushing the whole empathy circle thing, that people can attach, that people can make use of as teachers, because they can use art for the expression with the younger age group. And that's essential because they don't really have the verbal skills. But
remember to pause, give a chance to.
Okay, so okay. Sorry, Johnny, did you get that?
Right. I think so. You said first off, you feel like you've been an empathy circle person already. Because of the techniques you use in your psychotherapy and practice. You said your art therapy, one of your art therapy methods was to have emotional masks for each emotion. You feel like that technique has been very healthy for you, and you feel like it's something that other therapists or teachers can use in terms of art for youth therapy.
Right. Thank you. I feel heard. And so so I'm still frustrated by this because now schools have opened and the teachers are overwhelmed by the anxiety and the anxiety of their students to the point it's really difficult for them. I'm hearing multiple teachers having problems with communicating and being able to keep the group focused on learning when there's so many anxiety issues going on that blocks learning, and a lot of the need of communication and not, well, I would like to say touching, but they don't touch, and so that's not part of their input. But I'm concerned about how teachers are being able to manage the feeling level and the anxiety of children in the education environment. And I'm hoping that the Empathy Circle training of teachers would be really pushed and accepted by educational systems like superintendents, like principals, or I don't know how to go about presenting that in a way that would actually hopefully meet the need, you know? I'm frustrated with that.
Okay. What I'm picking up is that you've been kind of clued in toward a major communication problem in the classroom. That the educational environment is kind of stifled because of the levels of anxiety and other emotional states that the children are in. You feel like these types of trainings, the feeling and the empathy and digging into maybe that part of their the children's psyche that they don't recognize in themselves or are unaware of or can't recognize, could be more easily facilitated by someone who's had this type of empathy training.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I'm just hoping that somehow I can network with Edwin or Larry or somebody to understand more about how that's done, because I've got the energy to be able to do it. It's just like working within the educational system, which actually I did work as an occupational therapist in the educational system for over 30 years. But now with, so everything's online for therapists now. And anyway, but they are grouping back together, and I'm just not sure how to offer that service in a way that it is in many classrooms, not just one classroom.
I hear you saying that that it's not just an isolated or a small issue. It's kind of across the board what you've heard. And the other major topic was that you're trying to find the people to connect with to help you bring this to the level where the teachers can be facilitators as well.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, she felt fully heard. So your turn to select someone, Johnny.
Oh, wow. I don't have anything left to talk about.
Well, first select the person and let them know.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll go with Edwin.
Okay, I'm listening, and I hear you don't have anything to talk about.
Not much. Most of my days are filled with doing what I want to do. At this time right now, I'm on SSDI, Social Security Disability. It's enough to take care of me, so I have time to do a lot of things for myself. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I hear that you're on Social Security, and it's just enough to live on. It gives you a lot of time to do what you would like to do.
Right. it got to the point where I was just doing what I wanted to do day to day, not wasn't associated with a purpose or anything Masonic. When
So
I
you're
came
just,
to
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so you're just, what I'm hearing is that you're just sort of going from day to day and you didn't have a bigger purpose. So maybe you're looking for a bigger purpose or have.
Yes. I'm part of several trainings right now that would help me at the day treatment facility that I go to. I'm one of the higher functioning schizophrenics, and they've been throwing my name around as a peer mentor to put me in an employment slot with the company that I would have been a client with.
So you're a higher functioning schizophrenia, and they're talking about maybe hiring you or to be part of the organization that you've been taking part in their program.
Right. The hardest part is maintaining my relationships because there's a certain level of professionalism that I have to keep with the people that are responsible for me, that work for that where I'm the patient for them at the company that I attend. But there's also the issue of keeping my distance from the other clients.
So there's some issues around being professionalism, but as well also from keeping a distance from the other clients.
Right.
So there's some issues to kind of be worked on.
Yeah, quite a few. The only reason I am where I am now is because I took a break from everything that was work. It got to the point where I had any what do you call it? I didn't have any all my outlets became work. So the art was, the focus was art therapy. The music was musical sound therapy. So it got to the point where I was overwhelmed because I was turning into a workaholic in order to run away from my problems.
So there was an issue where you became a workaholic doing all these different classes or art therapy, etc., where you're really just avoiding dealing with your problems, and
Right.
it became overwhelming.
Yeah. But because I started running into that problem, I started blocking out all my creative outlets. And I picked them back up, understanding this time around that it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do, it's what I was driven to do, it's what my purpose was. The question was I using it for what my purpose is?
So you were actually using all the therapy, different practices to sort of block addressing the problems versus really using it to address the problems. And so you sound like you're sort of reevaluating kind of what you were doing and trying to work it through and get maybe some clarity and a new path.
Yes, sir. I feel fully heard.
Okay, thanks. And I'm just going to send a notice broadcast while we have 10 minutes to closing. So I just sent that out. So Lydia, can I speak to you? Yeah, so I do think that Empathy Circles is a great practice for everyone here to practice for using it in the schools or using it in the healthcare field. So I'll pause there.
It's a good beginning.
Yeah, for schools and for healthcare.
Everywhere, any place.
Schools and healthcare. If you just reflect that part back, please.
Okay, it's a good beginning for school.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And healthcare.
Healthcare
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. And this work is based on the work of Carl Rogers. And Carl Rogers was one of the top clinical psychologists in the world. He's dead now, but he was saying that the empathy is a very good practice for schizophrenics, because part of schizophrenia is you feel detached from the world, disconnected. And by doing empathy, by being heard and being engaged in a relationship, it's very healing for schizophrenia. So I remember reading that.
It's a good process for healing.
A good process for healing schizophrenia, I think.
Yeah.
If you could just reflect that back.
It changed the way you see the world. The process help you, stay from away what happening around and focus on empathy.
Yeah, that the schizophrenia, which is what Johnny says that he's dealing with, Carl Rogers in his work says that the empathy is a very healing practice for schizophrenia, because as with your schizophrenic that you become isolated, you become detached from people, and empathy, mutual empathy helps you connect, and that's very, very healing.
Yeah, meeting people, having relationship, talking to others, having connections help the process healing.
Very much so. Yeah, exactly. I just feel if we can spread the empathy circle, it's a simple process. It has so many applications in the schools, in healthcare, that I'm very excited about empathy circles as a first step gateway practice to, just to general healing, growth, and well-being.
Yes, it become contagious, and help spread the healing process from different parts around us and with different people.
Yeah, I hope empathy becomes contagious. It'd be good if empathy became contagious, and we just kind of, it would be good if that were to happen.
Yes, because it spreads faster if it becomes contagious.
Yeah, I feel heard. So I feel fully heard. Your turn. You can select Jang, or she hasn't spoken in a while, if you want to.
Okay, Jen, are you here?
Hi, Lydia.
Yes, I graduate from a university, MBA or PhD, assigned to become a managing director of an organization. And you step in and you start bossing.
So you said that you after you graduate from the university,
Yes.
you expect to work in the organization, but you think that is not a good thing to suddenly step in and become a boss and act as a bossy person.
Exactly, because as the example I gave earlier, like we can do amazing things if we follow how things was made, how we was brought into this world. We built relationship with our families, parents, sister, brother, that bond, that connection we have with our family. Organization is also extended family.
And you think that to make the organization run successfully, it should be a bond between people in the organization, like a family, like a bond in the family, because the organization is somehow as a family as well.
Yeah, exactly. And good communication, transparency, good communication, transparency, make things easier to create that bond, that relationship you have with the staff. And, like countries and family organizations have their own culture.
And with the transparency and good relationship and connection, you think that it will help the organization run well, as it is like a bond in the family. And if the family is strong, the organization will be strong too.
Yeah, like country, like family, organization have their culture. And to do that, to create that bond, we need inclusive leadership.
Yeah, so you think that to create the bond and the culture in the organization, you need an inclusive environment. Yes, to create the bond. So it include everyone.
Yeah, everyone started from the leadership to the top down of the organization. So that bond bring productivity, success of the organization.
And so if the bond is happen and the leader in the organization in practice that inclusive and the bond is building the success to the organization.
And add the productivity because everyone around is happy, being kind is human, make us human being.
Yes, and when people happy, it will be more productivity inside the organization, and it is a human thing to be kind to each other and create a happy environment.
So that was the time. And just to give you a notice, I'm closing the room. So everybody is going to be coming in about 40 seconds. Everybody will be coming back. We'll be closing.
Okay, that's right. I'm done speaking.
You felt heard. Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
That was a great group. Okay, we're still got a few seconds before everyone else drops in. And let's see.
Where are you located, Edwin?
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area near Berkeley, California. How about you?
I'm in Canada.
Canada. Oh, great. Okay. Kathy, you were doing this?
Okay, great. Let's see, we got everybody back.
Yeah, I think
So,
everybody should be back. Mhm.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to take 30 seconds each just to share any learnings or insights you had from the circle. And go ahead and tell us where you're from also, and I'll call on everybody just to make it go quicker. And so Johnny, how about you? Where are you calling from, and what insights or learnings did you have from today?
Well, my name is Johnny Smith. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, but I'm stationed now in Jonesboro, Arkansas. About a half an hour from Memphis, Tennessee. The insight that I got was that a lot of us are on the same path. You know, we may have different things to do, different charges, different purposes, but at the end of the day, the majority of us are trying to make it through the same way as each other else. So
Thank you. Thank you, Johnny. Lydia, how about you? Where are you calling from, in 30 seconds to share any learnings or insights from today?
Yeah, sure.
Lydia.
Okay.
I'm Lydia de Freitas. I'm calling from Senegal, West Africa. And the insight I have this learning, this practice is that it's good to listen to people and not have presumptions. Being a good listener is a good thing, and it helps you understand others people.
Right. Thank you. Donna, how about you? Where are you calling from? And anything you'd like to share from your circle today? Any learnings or insights?
I'm calling from Portland, Oregon, and I agree with Johnny in regards to this, that I feel like we're all these empathy light workers trying to assist the healing of the planet and its species, and I am having compassion for the frustration and the sadness that goes along with what's been going on for the past 2 years in regards to disconnection, and hoping that we can have better connection and love shared by everyone.
Thank you, Donna. Mauricio, how about you? Where are you calling from, and any insights or learnings from your circle today?
Thank you, Kathy. This is my third time, and every time I learn a little bit more to help to communicate. And I'm learning to set up those boundaries to keep it simple and short, because it's hard. I'm learning that there's other people that care, and I'm super excited to meet all of you. Hopefully I can have you in my circle next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mauricio. Jane, how about you? Where are you calling from? What would you like to share for 30 seconds?
Hi, Kathy. I think it's more concentration when listening, and the calm communication between people in the group, which is make you understand and get more information when you really listen to people with concentrate and calm, not kind like everyone start talking the same time. So yeah, in this case you get to know the person more. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
Where's she from?
Where are you calling from, Jane?
From Brighton, England. Sorry, from Brighton. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Dahlia,
you.
how about you? Where are you calling from, and any insights you'd like to share from today?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, I am calling from Saudi Arabia. This is my first time joining, and I'm happy to be here. I learned that that it's not always ADHD as I thought when we're not listening attentively, and that it could just be a creative mind drifting away a bit, but being mindful and completely there allows you to put yourself in the speaker's shoe and truly be empathetic and feel how they do. And I'm excited to join every week till I become an expert in active listening.
Thank you, Dahlia. Candace, where are you calling from in 30 seconds? Anything that you learned or insights you had today?
I'm calling from Manning, South Carolina, and there are a lot of good people that will listen and understand, you know, and help open new ideas. And you know, they speak on the ideas, and then you reflect back. And boundaries, we talk about boundaries and journaling and actually listening to the words that the talker is saying, and then responding in a way where they felt heard and in the right way.
Great. Thank you, Candace. Adriana, where are you calling from in 30 seconds to share your insights?
I think I'm calling from Montreal, Canada. And I think that Donna has actually summarized perfectly what I was thinking myself, like trying to heal a world through these sessions where there is so much loneliness and division, trying to put everyone together again.
Thank you, Adriana. Dwayne, where are you calling from and what would you like to share?
Sure. My name is Dwayne Hearn. I'm from Los Angeles. I currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm always reminded that I enjoy this experience of connecting with people. And when my focus is on connecting with people, I actually believe it's a very simple thing to do. The other thing, though, I think is really important, that my experience in the pandemic hasn't been heavy. It hasn't been a lot of the things that people have experienced, and I appreciate their experience. My experience has been different. You know, life prevents us with a lot of challenges, and my focus is working through those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwayne. AC, where are you calling from in 30 seconds to share what you would like to share?
I live in Denver, Colorado. I'm sorry. But I'm currently in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Three things that I literally took from my group was one, Bill. I heard Bill say two things that really resonated. Stop. It is, there isn't any cold, or there isn't cold. There isn't any heat. Sorry about that one. But the other one was, that really resonated with me, was that the ego was in the intention initially for it to be a guardian, and yet we use it as a guard. I think that my group was really focused on active listening and not actually coming up with a solution, but to just listen, because that might be the only thing that's needed. Thank you.
Thank you, AC. Maria, where are you calling from in 30 seconds to share what you would like about today?
Me. Yes, I'm calling from Berlin and Germany, and I'm very happy to be here. What I learned in the empathetic cycle is that everybody has his own personal issue, and we can really help people overcoming these problems, personal problems, and even the insecurity, if we actively listen and if we actively pursue empathy. What I also learned is that I will use a phrase from the professor. Hate is absence of love. What we can do is we can fix hate thanks to empathy. And it is something that I really love. It's something that this can be useful in every possible context. And it's something that is about everybody. Everybody faces this problem, even in our daily life, in our family. And what we can do is really use this tool to have a better life and to be a better person.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you too for listening.
Erin, how about you? 30 seconds, and where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm calling from Seattle, Washington. And I love my empathy circle today. It's just a reminder of the great need for interconnection and how that just joyfully fills me, and learning to really be present and listening, not thinking even as far as what I'm going to reflect back, concentrating on what is the message, what is the person saying to me, not, so getting out of my own way on, okay, I've got to reflect back word for word also. So that was a good practice and challenging. I need to practice more. but yeah, the interconnectedness and what empathy can give us is just incredible.
Thank you, Erin. So let me just ask you, Edwin, do we want to go to facilitators now, or is that something else we want to do at this
Sure, I
point?
think we still have about 8 minutes, so we could hear
Okay,
from everyone
great.
else.
So facilitators, I'll call on you one by one. I think we've already talked about where we're calling from, but how was your circle today? Anything you'd like to share from the circle today? Bill?
Sure. Well, I was really, really appreciative. I just want to let everybody know when you come to this and you participate in the circle, for me, I like the rest of you, I'm bombarded with all these negative, argumentative things. And when people come with an open heart and they share and they try with whatever skill level, that means a great deal to me. So I really am appreciative of the people in my circle. They were great, and hope to see you again. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Melissa?
Yeah, I think I had a wonderful circle today with individuals who were so attentive and courteous and respectful of each other. And I think that goes a long way, because, those are the first things you need to actually be listeners, to be good listeners. And so thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Melissa. Larry?
Well, a big shout out to the group, Candace, Tiffany, Marla. Thank you all for bringing your heart, being so transparent, communicating with one, sharing with one another, and practicing empathy. Thank you all. It's wonderful.
Okay. So before I complete and before Edwin completes, I forgot to ask, did I miss anybody? The facilitators, anybody in your group that I missed?
Yes, in my group, Mary and Charlene didn't get a chance
Okay.
to speak.
Mary, would you like to share where you're calling from in 30 seconds to talk about learnings or insights?
Hi, my name is Mary Allen. I'm here in California, Northern California, and I recognized that when I was listening that I needed to breathe and stay present with as an active listener. Thank you.
Thank you. And who is the other person, Melissa?
Charlene.
Charlene?
Shirley.
Shirley. I don't see Shirley.
Charlene Martin. I think that was him. Charlene Martin.
Are you here? Do you see her, Melissa?
I see Shirlene Martin with
Yes.
without on. I see Shirlene Martin. Can you unmute?
She is there.
Charlene, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, she unmuted.
Yeah,
Also,
we're not hearing her. So
okay,
there's
but
some-
also my group, Ruth hasn't spoken. I don't believe.
Okay, Ruth, would you like to go?
Sure. I'm Ruth. I'm from Massachusetts. My group was with Maria, Bill, and Alyssa, and Amin, and we did a lot of active listening and a lot empathy listening. So I really appreciate that. It was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. Okay, Melissa, do you see anybody else that I need to call on?
No, that's it.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Has Marla gone? Marla Rose?
Marla?
No.
Yes. I'm Marla Hill from Atlanta. And I found this time extremely valuable. And my takeaways are that self-care and self-reflection are so important to sustain empathy work because it can be very draining. It can be very tempting to allow your fears and your past to get in the way of truly listening, and that we're all safer when we're in community, not when we're opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
There's a Tiffany Borden. I think she hasn't spoken.
Tiffany?
No.
Yeah, I really enjoyed today. Thank you to Larry for being a great facilitator and holding space for us. And I think that this is a really great tool for us to use as facilitators of this work. And I do think that empathy is what we need in society. So I'm grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And where are you calling from?
From Los Angeles.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Okay. I'd like to thank my circle. I've always been inspired, and I love that I'm reminded how when I first began the skills that I was working on. So it makes me appreciate how far I've come and that people are here to deepen their skills also. So thank you all. And Edwin, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Kathy, and thanks everyone. It's really great for everyone's participation. We had a lovely group. I always enjoy connecting with people as well as seeing the growth that happens. You're just learning this process. At first, it's a little awkward, the first couple turns, but everybody gets better and better at it. And so the more you do it, the more you come back, the better you'll get with the empathic listening or the empathy circle practice. And you start, it becomes sort of natural, more natural to you with those skills, gets easier. And so what we have is, I'm going to put this into the chat room, and I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. I don't know if I mentioned that. Is we have our next cohort is cohort 12D, and there's a link there to sign up, and it starts November 20th. So we'll be having these intro cafes every Saturday until then, and then we're starting them on Mondays too. So you can join us this coming Monday, the next, actually for about the next 8 or so Mondays, we'll be having these intro cafes. So you can come Saturdays as well as Mondays and keep practicing. And just to get sort of a heads up, who is interested in cohort 12D? I know Johnny and Dwayne have signed up. There's others. If you could just kind of raise your hand, who's interested? So Jang, I don't know if you've signed up yet, but you just click that link there. And Maria, great. And Aaron. So you just click that link and there's a sign up there. There's an application you fill out, and then we'll put you on the list. And once you've done 2 empathy circles, which is a prerequisite, you're on the confirmed participant. So Candice, you had a question? Or Candice, do you have a question, or was that just saying that you wanted to take the training? You're muted.
Yes. Yes, I want to take the training.
Oh, great. Okay, so you just click on that link.
Training.
Mm-hmm. You're a bit of a lag in your audio. So yeah, great. So I see Aaron, Tiffany, Johnny, so a bunch of people, Maria wanting to take the training. So you just click on that. And then also to keep in contact with us, if you're able to, there's a fill out the empathy training feedback form. So if you click on that right now, that form, that's just a sort of a feedback for this session. You can just click on that. It'll bring up a form, and you can just write your email in there. And then add your name. There's just some questions about getting your feedback, and it's a way for us to stay connected with you. Then we have your email. We can add you to our email list if you would like, and also it has some more links and so forth. And you can fill that out, when the call ends. So with that, we're a little bit over. We'd like to end with our jazz hands. So just saying goodbye with mutual jazz hands. If your video can turn your video on, it'd be great to be able to see you. And we'll see you next week, or Monday or next Saturday. Hope to see you there. And Maria, sorry for having moved you in the middle of your speaking. I hit the wrong button, so you're probably wondering, like, why did I?
It's open 2 times today.
Oh, it did. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I hit the wrong button. So, okay, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.